Hey everybody, it's the Van Show, and today we're talking to my friend Carlos Hernandez.
Hello.
Say hello, Carlos.
Hello.
Hey, now Carlos, I'm going to ask you to spend 1 minute telling our audience as much about you as you can.
Okay, so my full name is Carlos Alberto Pablo Hernandez Suarez, but Carlos Hernandez is what I go by. I have Cuban parents, and I am Cuban American. One time I jumped on the back of a UPS truck with the intention of just like taking off and never being seen again, just going off onto adventures. I was like 5. My mom caught me, like she literally like yanked me off of the UPS truck. But that's kind of my personality, like in a nutshell, like jump on the back of a UPS truck and get going. I'm a college professor. I have a PhD in English, which means I spent a lot of time reading and writing books. And I mean, I did it just because I didn't want to starve to death while I was writing this book. And so since I'm still alive, things seem to work out pretty well. Okay. I love teaching, and I also love playing games. And so like my hashtag and my @ on Twitter is Write, Teach, Play, because I love to write, I love to teach, and I love to play. And so like I design board games and card games and play a lot of games. And so yeah, that's a bunch of stuff. I grew up in Sarasota, Florida, though, which has a lovely pan-Latino community, but it wasn't especially Cuban. So I learned a lot about Latino cultures when I was there.
Wow. And now I know travel between the United States and Cuba has been difficult in the past. I'm not sure if it's much better now. But did you get a chance to go visit your family over in Cuba ever?
So I went one time in 1997, and it was, I was in my 20s at that point, and so I was able to go on an exchange, an educational exchange. That's one of the ways that you can go to Cuba, legally. And so like I went to Cuba to study at the University of Havana for a January interim, and I was able to take a weekend and meet like 50 family members that I had never met before. And so like I was able to take one weekend when we weren't studying, and I just drank espresso and met everybody. They all were concentrated in this little town called Cantel. And in Cantel, basically they were all Suarezes with a couple of Hernandezes in there. And I just like stayed up and drank coffee and heard stories and basically got to know all the people who kind of looked like me that I didn't know.
That's great. When you were young, did you enjoy writing, or is this something that you came across at an older age?
Oh, since I was young. And so a couple of quick things. In first grade, I was able to read a limerick that I had written over the PA system. Like, basically the principal liked my poem so much that I got to read it over announcements like the next day.
Ooh, that's big news.
That's when the writing bug really bit, because like the immense power of the microphone, where I had command of the entire school, which was the entire universe to a first grade mind, that was the moment where, I've never looked back in terms of being an author.
Now, can you tell us about the book that you brought today?
Sure. So Sal and Gabby Break the Universe is sort of like an Into the Spider-Verse type of story. So it's about the multiverse, so many different universes. And so Salvidon in the first chapter encounters a bully. And what we learn in the first chapter, and I wrote this to really be helpful to kids, is how to handle bullies. And the way to properly handle a bully is to stick a raw chicken in their locker and to surprise them with it when they suddenly open the locker. Comes tumbling out, explodes all over the place. So this is a public service message, kids. Raw chicken.
Use an exploding raw chicken.
That's right. So what happens really is that Sal can reach into other universes and take stuff that he needs in moments of crisis. And he learned this power actually because of a sad thing. When his mother died when he was 8 years old, 5 years ago, he just couldn't accept that loss. And so what he did is he just willed his mother to come back. And another mother from another universe who was just like his walked through a hole that he created from that universe. And so since then, he's been trying not to create too many holes, because that'll break the universe. That ain't so good. Yeah. But at the same time, trying to deal with his grief and deal with trying to just survive middle school. Goodbye!